A slow pan of fog over Alcatraz Island. Eerie music plays. Welcome to Alcatraz, the most haunted island in America. Join us as we uncover its chilling secrets and paranormal sightings. We're going deep into the heart of darkness to confront the unexplained. You with me? I hope you brought your courage because you're going to need it. Before Alcatraz became synonymous with hardened criminals and despair, it was a fortress. Yeah, you heard me right. A military stronghold. Back in the 1850s, they slapped a lighthouse on this chunk of rock, stuck some cannons on the cliffs, and called it a defense system. The ghosts of those soldiers, the first inhabitants of this cursed place, they're still here. Their energy woven into the very fabric of this island. I can feel them, can't you? The weight of their vigilance, the echo of their footsteps. They patrolled these walls, watching the horizon, guarding against threats seen and unseen. Little did they know the real danger lurked within, waiting for the prison gates to swing open. In 1934, Alcatraz shed its military skin and took on a new form, a maximum security penitentiary. The most ruthless criminals in America, murderers, gangsters, escape artists, they were all shipped here to this desolate rock. Imagine those first prisoners arriving, the clang of the iron gates echoing in their ears, the slam of steel doors sealing their fate. Every stone, every brick, every inch of barbed wire screamed escape. Or die trying. The energy here is palpable. You can practically taste the fear, the desperation, the raw primal energy that seeps from the very pores of Alcatraz. The guards, they were tough as nails, hardened by the constant threat of violence. But even they whispered about the things that went on here. Unexplained noises, shadows moving in the dead of night, and those cold spots. Pockets of pure dread that clung to the air like the stench of death. The history here is brutal, etched in blood and suffering. The spirits of Alcatraz are restless, their stories begging to be told. It's hard to imagine, amidst this desolate rock and the stories of hardened criminals, that families once called Alcatraz home. Can you believe it? Kids played on these grounds, their laughter echoing through the cell blocks, oblivious to the darkness that clung to every corner. The warden, he lived here with his family. Imagine sitting down to dinner, the clinking of silverware competing with the distant clang of prison bars. Talk about a dysfunctional family dinner. The children, they weren't allowed to have toy guns, you know. Irony, isn't it? Surrounded by the most dangerous criminals in the world, and they couldn't have a toy gun. But hey, I guess even in prison some things are sacred. They had a little schoolhouse here too. Can you imagine the stories those kids told? Show and tell takes on a whole new meaning when your dad runs a prison. The wives of the guards, they formed their own little society, baking clubs, sewing circles, trying to create a sense of normalcy in this den of madness. But the island, it had a way of seeping into your soul. You could never truly escape the darkness. There are stories, whispered tales passed down through generations, of children seeing things they couldn't explain, shadowy figures lurking in the cell blocks, phantom footsteps echoing in the dead of night. Some say the children were more sensitive to the paranormal activity on the island, their innocent minds more susceptible to the influence of the restless spirits. The families of Alcatraz, they lived a double life, caught between the ordinary and the extraordinary, the mundane and the macabre. Their stories are a chilling reminder that even in the most unexpected places, darkness can find a foothold. And trust me, the darkness here, it runs deep. Alcatraz. The name itself conjures images of brutality, a place where hope goes to die. It's a breeding ground for myths, legends whispered in hushed tones and passed down through generations. One of the biggest misconceptions is the idea of death row. Contrary to popular belief, Alcatraz didn't have a designated death row. But don't let that fool you. Death was a constant companion on this island. The true punishment of Alcatraz wasn't the electric chair. It was the slow death of the soul, the isolation, the relentless confinement, the knowledge that you were surrounded by the worst of the worst. It chipped away at your sanity day after day. The guards, they ran a tight ship. Every move was watched, every whisper scrutinized. They say the silence was deafening, broken only by the clang of metal and the distant cries of the truly damned. But even in this meticulously controlled environment, whispers of the unexplained managed to surface. Stories of cells where the temperature plummeted for no reason, phantom footsteps echoing through the empty corridors, and the blood-curdling screams that seemed to seep from the very walls themselves. Some say these were the residual echoes of violence, the tormented souls of inmates driven mad by their confinement. Others believe it was something more sinister, a malevolent force that fed on the despair and suffering that permeated every inch of the island. We're here to separate fact from fiction, to delve into the heart of these paranormal claims and uncover the truth. But be warned, the truth can be a dangerous thing, especially in a place like Alcatraz, where the veil between the living and the dead is as thin as the fog that blankets this cursed rock. The spirits here, they're hungry for attention, eager to make their presence known. They want us to hear their stories, to feel their pain. But be careful what you wish for, because once you open that door to the other side, you can never truly close it. Alcatraz was the ultimate test of human resilience, a concrete cage designed to crush the spirit and extinguish any hope of freedom. The guards boasted that no one ever escaped alive, and for the most part they were right. But the stories of those who tried, those who dared to challenge the iron grip of Alcatraz, those are the stories that send shivers down your spine. Stories of desperation, of ingenuity, of men pushed to the very edge of sanity. They say that the currents around Alcatraz are treacherous, the water so cold it can kill a man in minutes. But that didn't stop them, did it? The lure of freedom, the chance to escape the suffocating darkness of this island. It was a gamble many were willing to take. There's the story of the Anglin brothers and Frank Morris, who vanished into the fog, leaving behind nothing but dummy heads made of soap and a trail of unanswered questions. Did they make it, or did the icy waters of the bay claim them, their bodies swallowed by the unforgiving depths? The mystery remains, a haunting reminder that even the most impenetrable prisons can be breached. But here's the thing about escape. It's not just about breaking free from physical restraints. It's about escaping the demons that haunt you, the memories that cling to you like shadows. The spirits of those who died trying to escape Alcatraz, they're still here, their energies swirling in the currents, their whispers carried on the wind. Their stories are a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying prison is the one we build for ourselves. Now this is where it gets really interesting. You'd think that a place like Alcatraz, with its reputation for brutality and despair, would be the last place anyone would want to be. But you'd be wrong. Some prisoners, they actually requested to be transferred to Alcatraz. Can you believe that? They saw it as a step up, a refuge from the chaos and violence of other prisons. Alcatraz, you see, was all about control. The guards were notoriously tough but fair. There were no gangs, no racial violence, no riots. It was a place where, ironically, a prisoner could find a twisted sense of order amidst the madness. Some inmates, they were drawn to the notoriety of Alcatraz. Being sent here, it meant you were someone, a force to be reckoned with. It was a badge of honor, a mark of infamy. But let's be real, the main reason they came here, the food. Yeah, you heard me right. The food at Alcatraz was legendary. They say the warden, he made sure of it, 3 square meals a day and good food too. Better than what most of these guys were used to on the outside. But here's the thing. A full stomach doesn't change the fact that you're still locked up, surrounded by concrete and steel, your every move watched, your every thought scrutinized. As the fog settles back over Alcatraz, the mysteries and spirits remain, trapped in time. The stories we've uncovered, they're just a glimpse into the darkness that clings to this island. Alcatraz is more than just a former prison. It's a beacon for the paranormal, a vortex of raw, untamed energy. Thanks for joining us on this haunting journey.